Hi everybody, welcome to our 2016 March BiaCare Buzz. We've had some great sessions already so far this year, and we're looking forward to continuing to bring you valuable information in a relatively short amount of time. We think it's a reasonable amount of time for a coffee break. My name is Chandler. I've been kind of hosting these over the last 6 or 7 months. And now we have Kate with us, who's going to talk a little bit more about some of the content that she's been working on, in addition to the product updates that we normally share with you.
Yeah, so my name is Kate. I am in charge of the content marketing here at BiaCare, and we've been working on some really cool stuff. We've been doing the webinar for a while now, but I've been able to introduce a blog on our website now, which is really new for us, but we're really excited, and it's a really nice addition to the webinar. And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, we had a blog going a little bit last year, but it was kind of just the same thing as our newsletter, and we didn't feel like it was adding as much value as it could be. So once Kate joined our team, we were able to actually kind of narrow down our focus on what we wanted that blog to do as far as reaching patients, which is really valuable for us, and we hope is going to be valuable for therapists, fitters, advocates, anyone that's trying to reach those patients. So I guess to get started, we wanted to throw out a couple of updates that are coming up with BiaCare, specifically regarding our catalog. Our catalog will be coming out. We talked about it in our last Buzz section, and it's going to be coming out hopefully in May. So just about a month and a half, we should have them printed and ready to mail out, which is exciting. And we'll have a whole round of new branding updates for people to see as well from the top down.
Yeah, the catalog is going to look pretty different than it looked last year. And even with the Buzz, I mean, we unfortunately don't have it on our signage yet, but the Buzz logo has been totally redesigned. Chandler has been doing a lot of work on our website. That has a new look. So we're really trying to put our best foot forward in 2016 and put a fresh perspective on the BiaCare brand.
Yep, you'll notice a whole lot of new logos, new measuring forms, new content in the catalog. Everything that we were catching you up on with the Buzz last year is going to be updated in this catalog, which is great. We're really excited about that. You may even notice some new colors and things like that. So we're excited to bring all of those changes in one experience in one package to you with our new catalog. And we're hoping that maybe not next month, but the month after, our Buzz will be exclusively devoted to what's new in the catalog, which is exciting. So that was the biggest update we wanted to provide for you, just on what's happening here, at BiaCare. And we want to talk now a little bit about what is this blog that Kate has been working on, and we've all been working on really as a team. And what is it aiming to do? How is it different than the webinar, and how are those things going to work together?
Yeah, so we really want this BiaCare Buzz space and time to be for you, the therapists. We really are trying to put together some unique tools that you can use for your patients, and so it's a connection between you and your patients, but this webinar is really for you. The blog, on the other hand, is really for the patients. We are really striving to provide quality content and information that patients just aren't receiving right now. We've done a lot of research into what's out there and what kind of information patients can read. And so far, what we found is a lack of a connection between medical professionals, such as us and yourselves, and the patients. And so one of the things that we're trying to do with the blog is produce videos and different tools, such as the lymphedema checklist, which we'll be talking about a little later on, that ties into the blog topics. So our first blog series that we've been working on is all about patient compliance. The focus that we're trying to hone in on is the fact that wearing compression and treating lymphedema in general is really a lifestyle change for these patients. Treating lymphedema or any type of edema or swelling, chronic condition, it just isn't going to happen overnight. And so one of the things we really want to emphasize to patients is that this is going to change your life. I mean, you're going to have to wear different outfits and schedule your day around this, and really have open communication with your therapist about what's going on. So our first blog post really hones in on that And then our first series is all about, well, the first post in the series anyway, is talking about donning and doffing difficulties with compression. And we also want to emphasize that our blog is not a place where we are trying to sell our products in particular, although we're kind of biased. We think our products work pretty well. But our blog will talk about everything from compression stockings to compression garments to pumps to bandaging. I mean, all types of therapy solutions.
Yeah, what we want to do is not just talk about or find a figurehead that's going to represent what we make or what we do to patients and show that as the best option, but to treat patients as individuals that need individualized attention and care and need someone to be able to listen to what they're asking for and respond with real valuable information. So what we're doing again with our webinars is to really educate, to really support and equip therapists. And our blog and these other tools we're working on are going to be really to educate and inform patients on how lymphedema might change their life and how they can deal with it in the best way possible to make those changes, really great changes in their life. So as Kate said, the first series is overcoming obstacles to wearing compression. And specifically, we're talking about donning and doffing issues. There are a whole host of issues that come up when you have patients that span a whole size range and age range, ability range, cognition range. There are a lot of challenges that come up, and so we try to take a cursory look at what garments are out there, what might work best, and really what we want patients to understand is that they need to pick a garment that works for them. They need to look at their strengths, they need to look at their weaknesses and decide, this is a product that's going to complement my strengths and help me build up my weaknesses into something that eventually becomes a strength. If I have issues with flexibility, if I have issues with grabbing a zipper or pulling tabs or pulling on a stocking, what else is out there that is going to not only be simple for me to use, but be something I'm excited about using because it's going to increase the effects of my therapy. It's going to speed up my therapy time. Like I'm going to be in therapy for a shorter amount of time, and it's going to really help me integrate compression as a part of my lifestyle. So that's where we're focusing with the blog, and we're also putting out tools, things like that. So if the daily lymphedema checklist is a perfect example of one of those tools that we're working on right now.
Absolutely. So part of the daily lymphedema checklist is going through what, in our opinion, is kind of a three-tiered approach to treating lymphedema, and that is, the therapy, whatever type of compression therapy that is, nutrition, and exercise. We really believe all three of those things contribute to any person's healthy lifestyle day to day, but in particular, a lymphedema patient's healthy lifestyle. We think this will give them the best quality of life, and as a therapist, you would already know this, and so we really want to help you help your patient. So on our lymphedema checklist, our first category is compression, and we note just a couple of things, and there are a million tips we could give to patients to help them be more compliant with compression treatment. But some of the things we've listed here are, thinking the night before or the morning of what they should take with them or how they can remind themselves to wear compression. So one of the things is keeping skin moisturized and clean. And so one of our tips is, bring lotion or some type of moisturizer and baby wipes in a bag. Packing that the night before will make you much more susceptible to remembering that the morning of.
We all know what it's like to put a t-shirt on after you exercise. It's it's sweaty, it's dirty, it's not comfortable to put on something that's going against unclean skin.
Absolutely.
And so keeping your skin clean, keeping it at a comfortable temperature, really, really important for wanting to put it back on.
Well, going off of that, another good tip for patients with lymphedema is, thinking the night before or the morning of and planning what outfit you're going to wear. Wearing loose-fitting, cool clothing is going to be much easier and more comfortable for patients when they have a compression garment on than anything that's tight or makes them feel really hot and overheated. So that's another tip. A couple of the other things we have here is you make sure you bring a tote or bag or briefcase so that you can carry your garment along with you. You can bring a change of clothes if you need. You can pack the moisturizer or wipes, whatever you need with you. You know, just have a bag. And for women, it can be fashionable, and for men, it can be a briefcase so it looks professional. It doesn't have to draw attention to it if they prefer not to. And finally, the last thing we have on here is to set a reminder on the patient's phone or some sort of device so that if they have an event after work or they have a meeting or they're doing something throughout the day where maybe they don't want to wear their compression garment, if they have a reminder set on the phone for whenever that activity or event is over and it will remind them to put it back on, I think that would really help in compliance as well.
And a key here is that we definitely, and therapists, anyone who's working with patients, obviously we're not encouraging taking off garments or only wearing them for limited periods of time. But as we were thinking about things, patients have to think about as they're donning and doffing garments throughout the day is if it's impossible or if it's really not convenient, I'm not able to be wearing my product at this time. What am I going to do with it if I'm out? I'm not in my car, I'm not at home. Do I have a place where I can store it? So it's really just kind of something to help them accommodate wearing compression out and integrating that into their lifestyle rather than just making it convenient for someone to not wear it at a certain time.
So outside of compression, the next thing we kind of cover in this checklist is nutrition. And some of that, actually most of it, are just their basic nutrition guidelines for any person, and it's also going to help someone with lymphedema. So one of the things we talk about is proper hydration. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water to wash all of the fluid, flush it through your body and get that lymph moving. One of the things we do note is that if you have any sort of special heart conditions or some other issue, sometimes drinking too much water can also be an issue. So we make sure to note there to consult your therapist or some other sort of nutritionist, medical professional before they change any sort of diet or exercise, because obviously certain people have certain circumstances. But avoiding processed foods, excess salt and sugar is all really going to help decrease the swelling, decrease the bloating, and increasing their intake of fruits and vegetables. And not just any fruits and vegetables, but low glycemic fruits and dark leafy green vegetables. Those are going to be most nutritious and help the most with lymphedema and swelling.
In addition to habits for compression and wearing compression and nutrition, we've also included a section in the checklist on exercise, something many of us probably haven't been doing throughout the winter months. We kind of do, I guess, the opposite of what bears do. But we put a section in here that includes a wide variety of exercises. So some of them might be a little bit more aggressive or a little bit more active, while others are a little bit easier. There are things like water walking, basic yoga, stretching, things that are going to get you moving your limbs, twisting and flexing in a way that's going to improve circulation. It's going to naturally force some of that fluid to drain if you have buildup. Swimming, you get natural water pressure that compresses the limb as well, a very healthy type of compression. And obviously swimming is one of the best exercises that's easy on your joints and still can burn calories. But again, exercise isn't only about getting in shape, but it's about helping to manage conditions that you have as well and retaining your mobility, retaining flexibility. Sort of think of the adage, if you don't use it, you lose it. And we want patients to have the best quality of life. So part of that is participating in a range of exercises that helps them not only manage their condition, but stay healthy and enjoy their life as well. So that's the sort of three-pronged approach that we took in this checklist with compression and the habits there, nutrition, and then exercise.
Absolutely. And on the back of that checklist, we just really wanted to, again, enforce the fact that treating lymphedema is a habit. It's a lifestyle change. So we just have a little count down a little calendar that's just 30 days so that they can physically check off a day and say, okay, I did what I was supposed to do with my compression, with my diet, with being active today, and to help keep patients motivated and encouraged to continue wearing their garment. And obviously, after the 30 days is over, that doesn't mean their treatment is over, but then they can start all over again and just stay encouraged and keep up with their progress. And at the bottom, we also included a little section for notes for patients to write to a therapist. So that way it keeps those channels of communication open between patient and therapist.
Exactly. So we, again, kind of refer back to our goal with the checklist, our goal with the blog and with our webinar, to educate and inform patients on what it means to begin wearing compression, what therapy means, and the different types of options they have when they're looking at what compression garments might work best. Then to really equip and train and help build up therapists, fitters, and anyone who's working with patients that needs tools and needs information to help inform their patients about what options are best for them. So that's what we've been working on this month. Again, we're going to continue to put out these materials on a monthly basis at minimum, and we greatly value your feedback. We had 4 or 5 people reach back and either say this is something they're using, but many of them offered also maybe edits or suggestions and said, hey, it might be great if you added this in. So we're seeing people share it and to begin using it, which is very exciting as well. And again, we hope that these are valuable resources for anyone that might need them. And we'll be back next month, probably around the same range of dates with new topics, new information, and new tools to help manage, to help patients manage lymphedema and help therapists as they seek, to bring successful therapy to patients.
And coming soon, that new catalog in May.